What's good, DJBooth.net? This is DJ Blaze, and I'm here to give you a full video review of the new Behringer NOX404 2-channel USB mixer. So here it is, the Behringer NOX404 or NOX404 2-channel USB mixer. This is one of the newest Behringer line of mixers. They also have a 3-line, 4-line version of the same mixer. And they also have a scaled down 2-channel version of the same NOX type mixer. And basically this is the new series produced by Behringer that promises to deliver with great price and also great quality, both inside and outside. So what we're going to do here is just review the unit, and we're going to challenge that notion from Behringer, and we're also going to show you the shortcomings of the unit and also the pros of the unit. So going back to the Behringer statement, this is the first Behringer unit that we will actually be doing a review on here at DJBooth.net. In the past, Behringer had a mixed bag when it comes to their reviews and especially their product quality. There's always been a good pricing structure for Behringer, but oftentimes that low price usually translated to lower quality at the end for the end user. So not so with the Behringer NOX 404. So overall impressions, here we have a completely metal chassis. You have some nice solid faders, the crossfader being Infinium no contact fader, which is fully adjustable. We'll get into that a little bit later. We also have some nice oversized knobs, and they all have a nice sturdy feel to them. Does not feel like they're gonna break or cause you any problems in the future. All your contacts on the back and on the front, all your inputs and outputs look like they're built with great quality, and like you won't have to really worry about them for a while. So nice there for the overall impressions. Next up, we'll talk about the actual setup. The setup of this mixer was very, very easy. Just like with any other mixer, you can run it in analog mode, which means you're just going to be using your RCA cables to plug in your inputs, and you can either use your RCAs or your balanced XLR outputs to go into your amp or directly into your powered monitors. So for the setup, is very easy in analog mode. In digital mode, when you want to use your USB to connect to a software of your choice, such as Serato or Tractor or Mix Vibes or any of those other software Decadence that you like, you will be able to use the USB jack in the back of the mixer. Now, you cannot use this USB internal sound card on this mixer for time code and digital vinyl system playback. This is just a sound card built in just to DJ directly from this mixer over to your actual library on your computer. So all of your functions will still work here. Your line faders, your channel faders, your crossfader, all of your knobs, all of your effects, everything that's on the face of this mixer will work just like this when you also have it paired with software. You'll just be able to choose deck 1 or deck A with your actual software track here, and you'll also have your other music file on deck 2, depending on how you set it up within your software. Also very easy to set up. You just plug it right in. You don't need any extra drivers. Windows 7, Windows Vista will automatically recognize the unit, and they'll get you on your way and ready to run immediately out the box. Okay, for the inputs and outputs, on the front of the mixer, you can see here the only input that we have is the headphone input. And yes, this is a 1/4 inch. There is no 1/8 inch connector as well, so you'll need that adapter. Go around to the back. From left to right, we have those FX loops, send and return. We have 2 separates for each. And we also have the auxiliary input and an auxiliary output with its own separate volume control. There's the USB input there. We also have the input 1 and input 2 section, and these are a set of line and a set of phono inputs. And the phono inputs can be turned into line inputs as well, as long as you press this button here that will turn it from line to phono. And we also have a balanced and unbalanced RCA and XLR main outputs, along with a 1/4 inch microphone input. Next up, we'll talk about the actual faders and knobs. the faders here. You have the crossfader and the line faders. These faders are of pretty good quality. They do feel a bit plasticky internally, but overall a lot of faders do, so you can't really knock them for that one. There's a different fader for the crossfader as for the line faders. The line faders feel like the alpha style faders that are found on many popular DJ platforms today. And the crossfader is a new Infinium Technologies fader, which is actually a no contact fader, meaning you don't have too much resistance here, too much play with it, and it's just a good all-around optical type fader. So if you want to, you can also adjust the crossfader tension by you remove this fader cap here. Once you remove the cap, you'll see that there is a cutout in the faceplate for the actual flathead screwdriver, the little screw that you can put in there to adjust the tension of your fader. So if you want it really smooth and a little sturdy for your long mixes, you can do that. Or if you want to back the screw out, make it looser for your scratches, you can do that as well. Along with the adjustments for the crossfader, you have a curve control A and a curve control B, and basically that's to set two different types of curve controls. Curve control A, you can set that to a nice sharp cut, and B you could be able to set to a long cut. And with the flick of a button, there's a button on the front here called the mode button. This mode button will actually allow users to flip between X-Fade Curve A or X-Fade Curve B. So you can essentially have your curve set up to be a sharp cut on the left and a long curve on the right. And in order to switch between the two, you just press that mode button. So mode button is either going to work with A when it's activated or B when it's deactivated. So you'll have two different settings that you can set on the curve, and they're just switchable by this mode button here. We also have a crossfader reverse button here on the front. You press that reverse button in, and you will have A will actually be on B, and B will actually be on A. It kind of reverses the direction of the crossfader. And all of the line faders also have nice adjustability to them. You can't adjust the tension to them. They're not the same as the crossfader, but they do have their own individual contour fader or sliders here, and they have a center click to them. So you can either adjust it to be slow or fast cut in depending on what you need. And the cut in time on the crossfader and the line faders is very, very low. I was able to measure this out as a cut in distance of only 1.0 millimeters. Between that and 1.5 millimeters of dead space for the cut in time. So that is basically like nothing. This is perfect out of the box for all your professional DJs, all your scratch DJs who's out there want to scratch and don't want to have to tinker with the fader too much. This fader will suffice for your needs, and it will get you through to do what you wanted to do. Back to the line faders, there is a slow and a fast slider adjustment knob here. There's also a reverse button for each of your faders, so if you want them to reverse the volume control, either all the way up this way or all the way up can be that way, depending on how you have the reverse button pressed or not. And there's also a mode 1 and mode 2 button here for your line faders as well. This time the mode button will actually be used in order to turn this line fader into either a volume control fader as normal or a pan control fader, meaning you can switch it from left to right, the output in your speakers. This becomes a pan fader. It has nothing to do with volume, but it will pan between your left and your right speakers as the mode button is pressed. So if we go up a little bit here, we have the selectable line switches, the phono or line. And for side 1, you have phono, line, and USB, so that you can use this for just USB mixing as well. You have a pan left and right fader adjustment here with the center click in the middle. You have an FX loop channel 1 and channel 2 FX section here in the middle. This is for your external FX units and for your pedals and all the people who use external FX modules. You plug them right into the back, and this will be your control station here. We also have an EQ on or off section here, so this way you can either run with using your EQs, or you can run just how the actual source is playing directly from file. You also have your smaller gain knobs here. All of the knobs are oversized and they have a nice rubberized feel to them. I love it when DJ company manufacturers make them in that way. They just feel right when they have a nice rubber feel to them. They feel sturdy and strong. And they also have a full EQ kill. So your low, your mid, and your high knobs are all full EQ kills. And very nice functions and nice to use when you're DJing with them. Also here we have the master control knob, and we also have your aux output control knob as well. And these are two separate knobs for your outputs on the back. There's also a Q gain knob here, which is your headphone volume. And you have a Q button here and a Q fader here, so you can Q between channel 1 or channel 2, depending on how you want it in your Q. And you can press the Q button. It will illuminate and let you know exactly what you have activated here. If you're either listening to the master or you're going to listen to the Q. Also here we have the microphone and aux controls over here. Your microphone gain control here, along with an LED light that'll let you know when you're clipping. And the mic also has a high and a low EQ, two-band EQ here for your adjustment. There's also the auxiliary input. This is a separate input on the back, and it has its separate volume control knob. It's good for if you're at a party and you want like a backup iPod or something like that. You can plug it right into the back of the unit, and you can have your auxiliary input playing on its own level there. Also in the mixer we have the middle section here, and these middle section does give you LED line levels, and here you can either have it set to mono or stereo. That way you can either see if you're playing just your different sides, or if you're playing the whole master, you can see the levels there and determine the adjustments as needed. Next up we have one of the nicest features on this mixer, which are the effects. Your effects section is up here, this light gray section of the mixer. We have a knob here where you can select which area of the mixer is going to be affected by the effect. So you have microphone, you can do your effects with the microphone, channel 1, channel 2, or master, anything playing out of the entire deck. You have your FX on button here. Everything illuminates just to let you know that it's ready to go. And we also have a frequency and intensity. This is like your X and your Y in order to control the frequency and intensity of your effect. They have a bunch of effects here. The effects worked very nicely. It was a lot of fun to use. I used it with my Tractor digital vinyl software, so they still work perfectly even when you're using your virtual decks. So what we have here is a 2X copy, tape echo, flanger, phaser, auto pan. We also have a vocoder, reverb, reverse reverb, low pass filter, high pass filter, and LMT OST. And you go scrolling through these your different effects by using this knob here. Not sure if you can see it on the camera, but as I'm moving the knob, the different effect is lighting up to let you know which one is in effect at this time. Very nice to use, very fun to use. It also has a tap function here, so if the BPMs are off at all, you can tap the BPM of the actual song into the mixer, so that way it knows and recognizes where the beat is and exactly how to affect the beat on beat. So there were no times where I actually had to use this tap button here. It was always on point. It always knew exactly where my beat was, and it set up an accurate beat grid internally inside of the mixer in order to do all the effects just as I wanted. So in conclusion, the Behringer NOX404 mixer is one of the best, if not the best, Behringer 2-channel mixer that I have used in the last 15 years. I'm definitely still surprised at the level of quality and overall functionality that Behringer was able to provide with the entire NOX series of mixer. The NOX404 mixer has a completely solid metal chassis and can withstand the beating of a mobile DJ. The NOX404 mixer can work as a traditional 2-channel mixer or can be used with USB connection to play back and record tracks through any DJ software. The Infinium no contact crossfader on the Behringer NOX mixer series is very nice and fully adjustable, including tension via the screw. And the crossfader also has a low cut-in distance of about 1 to 1.5 millimeters, making it easy for scratch DJs to pull off their tricks right out of the box. The line faders are VCA style faders that also feel good, have full reverse and curve adjustments for each one. The overall sound quality of the NOX404 was also great, with balanced outputs and full kill 3-band EQ for each channel. To top it all off, there is a very intricate effects section with lots of effects and parameters to choose from to alter the music of your liking. On the downside, even though the crossfader is considered a contact-free and feels like it will last a long time, it still felt somewhat cheap and plastic-like during use. The cuts were really crisp, and there was no issues to point out with the fader, but it's worth a mention. The other small gripe that I have with the unit is that the internal sound card cannot be used to play digital vinyl time code. That meaning if you have a vinyl or CD via time code and you want to run them straight through this in order to play back your DVS software, you won't be able to do it without the addition of another sound card such as an Audio 4 or an SL1, SL2 type interface. But in conclusion, the NOX404 2-channel USB DJ mixer is a premium mixer with lots of features and effects that won't break the bank, and it won't break during a performance. That's the most important. The quality of the NOX series mixers is definitely a step up for Behringer, and I would love to see them stay at this level of quality going forward. There's a great deal of fader adjustments here, inputs and outputs, effects options, and they give the NOX404 a lot of versatility, making it suitable for many different types of DJs. The NOX404 is recommended for DJs who need a mixer that's going to last, has lots of features, and you don't have to spend over $300 in order to get it. This is about $250. You can find it at various stores and locations throughout the United States. And it's also recommended for beginner DJs or for those who need an additional or backup mixer to travel with or keep with them during gigs for any unforeseen circumstances. So basically that's it in a nutshell. That was the review. And for more news, reviews, DJ equipment, and production equipment updates, keep checking us out at www.djbooth.net/DJS for DJs. Also, check out our YouTube channel. We have over 90 DJ equipment related videos for you guys to enjoy, watch, and learn a little bit more. The YouTube channel is Real DJ Blaze. And you can also check me out on Twitter. Follow me for your quick updates. You'll also get the same information that's on our blog site there. You follow us and you'll get notification. It's at DJ Blaze _DJ Booth. Thanks for watching.